Hey everyone, welcome back to another new video of Power Generation, Transmission and Protection, which is a subject coming under the KTU syllabus of 5th semester Electrical and Electronics Engineering students. Today let's deep dive into which are the different types of towers used for transmission. So here you can see the different types of towers are asked in the syllabus. So let's move on to which are the different types of towers. Okay, so what are meant by supporting structures or towers? They are used for supporting the conductors at a particular level above the ground. So, supporting structures may be normally the poles as well as the towers, and these are known as the line supports. In general, the line supports they should have the following properties. The first one is high mechanical strength to withstand the weight of the conductors and wind loads. It should be able to mechanically withstand the weight of the conductors as well as the wind stresses also. So that is the first main important property of line support. So, second one is the light in weight without the loss of mechanical strength. Without compromising the mechanical strength, the structure should be light in weight. Okay, so that is a second important property about a line support. The third one is cheap in cost and economical to maintain. So the maintenance cost as well as the installation cost, everything should be lesser for a line support. I hope you remember the line support which I explained in the previous videos. The support normally used for supporting the conductors above the ground at a particular level. So these are known as the line supports. Let's go for the fourth property, that is longer life. So normally a structure which is given during the installation, it should have less maintenance as well as they should be longer, they should be having a longer life. That is the fourth important property. Let's go for the last one, is the easy accessibility of the conductors for maintenance. If any maintenance is required for the conductors due to any faulty condition, if the conductors are to be repaired, we have to go for easy accessibility of the conductors through the supporting structures. Okay, so the maintenance persons should be able to easily have an easy accessibility of the conductors for maintenance. So that is the fifth important property. So next we are moving into which are the important different types of poles. First comes the wooden poles which were used in the previous days, as well as it is also seen rarely nowadays in the rural areas. So what are the wooden poles? Wooden poles are normally used for up to 50 meters of length. That means relatively shorter span, the wooden poles are being used. It is made of seasoned wood like sal or chir, as well as it is normally used for moderate cross-sectional area and relatively shorter spans. Such supports, they are very cheap, they are easily available, as well as they also provide the insulating properties, and therefore it is normally used in rural areas because the economical section, when we are considering the cost, it is less. Now, what is the third important property? The wooden poles generally tend to rot below the ground, causing the foundation failure. That is a big disadvantage of the wooden pole. And due to this reason, under the portion of the ground, what is done is the wood is impregnated with preservative components like creosote oil. So, this is the disadvantage. So, for removing the problem of rotting below the ground, what is done is it is impregnated with preservative components like creosote oil. Next one is in the wooden pole itself, there are two type of structures called as A and H when double pole structures are coming. What is meant by double pole structures? So for getting a more great idea about this double pole structure, you can see this figure. So here you can see two types of figures. One is an A structure, see, and the other one is an H structure. So this is actually known as double pole. These are actually known as double pole structures. So why we are calling the term double pole is because it can carry two circuits on the same pole. Here you can see a three-phase can be taken from these three wires, one three-phase, and from the other side of the pole you can see you can take another three-phase, which means this can carry a double circuit. or this one is also known as a double pole structure. So hope this is clear. On For the A type as well as the H type of wooden poles, it can carry double circuits, or we can call it as double pole structures. They often they are often used to obtain high traverse strength, and then could be done by a single pole. So it is having a greater traverse strength than a single pole case. So double pole structures are some more mechanically strong. Now, what are the disadvantages of this wooden pole, and why we are going for any other type of pole other than wooden poles? So, the main important disadvantage is that it has a tendency to rot below the surface, below the ground level. The second thing is comparatively the smaller life is the second disadvantage. That is about 20 to 25 years only the life is there for a wooden pole. Then it cannot be used for greater than 20 kilovolt. That is the third disadvantage, as well as the mechanical strength is less when compared with the other poles. Then last one is it requires a periodical inspection. Okay, it requires a periodical inspection. Let's go for the second one, that is a steel pole. So what are steel poles? These are often used in substitution for this wooden poles nowadays, and they possess a greater mechanical strength. Why? Because it is made of steel, and longer life, as well as it also permits longer spans. Such poles, they are generally used for the distribution purposes in the cities. Okay, and this type of supports need to be galvanized or painted in order to increase the life, increase the life of the pole. Steel poles are of three types. First one is rail poles, second one is tubular poles, and the third one is rolled steel joints. So these you might have seen by just by observing the different poles which are available in our premises. Rail poles you might have seen, which is having structure so that a person can climb through it. The other one is a tubular pole, that also you might have seen, just like tubular structures. And the third one is rolled steel joints, which are used in the cities. Now, what is meant by, so you may just go through the next one. Let's move on to the next one, that is RCC poles. What are meant by RCC poles? RCC poles are reinforced concrete poles. This also you will be seeing in the cities, as well as you can also see this during in the rural areas also. So this reinforced concrete poles, they have become popular for the line supports in the recent years. They have greater mechanical strength, they have longer life, as well as it permits longer spans than the steel poles. So this one is a more common, and nowadays it is being used, particularly this RCC poles are being used. Okay, moreover they give good outlook, they require very little maintenance, and they are having very good insulating properties other than that of steel poles as well as wooden poles. So here you can see the figure of I'll show you a figure of a single and double circuit of a RCC pole. And the holes on this RCC poles they are used for climbing the poles. Okay, and as well as they also reduce the weight of the line support. In the whole support, if we are giving some rails like that, what is the weight of this much portion will be reduced. So that is why the heavy weight is less in the case of RCC poles, as well as here you can see therefore the poles are often manufactured at the site in order to avoid the heavy cost of transportation. So at the place where it is being installed, the poles are manufactured there itself, so that we can reduce the cost of transportation. I will show you a figure of the RCC poles. Here you can see the figure of an RCC pole, on which here is it is a single circuit. You can see this one is a single circuit, and here is a double circuit. So single circuit means 3 phase is carried on the single pole. Here you can see a pole, on both sides you can carry 2 3 phases. So here also one 3 phase can be carried, here also one 3 phase can be carried, which is known as a double circuit. Okay, the next comes the steel towers. So in practice, when we are considering the wooden, steel and the reinforced poles, they are only used for the purpose of about 11 kilovolt. For higher voltages, we cannot go for these methods. So for longer distance transmission, At higher voltage, the steel towers are used. Steel towers are being used, not poles, towers are used. These steel towers are having greater mechanical strength, they are having longer life, and these are mainly used for most every severe climatic condition it can handle, as well as it is used for longer spans. The risk of interrupted service due to the broken or punctured insulation is considerably reduced owing to the longer spans. As it is a longer span, these type of problems are not there in the case of longer steel towers. Tower footings are usually grounded by driving rods into the earth. So normally these structures are grounded by driving the rods through the, so if the steel tower is like this, to the ground, rods are are driving towards the ground, so that earthing is done properly. Then the next one is, this minimizes the lightning troubles as the tower acts as a lightning conductor. So the lightning, it just like acts as a lightning conductor, so which will reduce the effect of lightning, etc. Okay, and here you can see a single, both circuits are here. This is a steel tower. See, here you can see a single circuit, as well as a, see here it is a single circuit, and the second one is a double circuit. So as I previously explained, here it can carry only one circuit, one three-phase circuit can be only carried, whereas here two three-phase circuits can be carried. Okay, now you can see the voltage level. You might have seen these type of towers in the paddy fields. These are used for longer transmission as well as very high voltage transmission. See, 110 kilovolt and 220 kilovolt are the voltages on each of these towers. The conductors of these towers are having. So this figure shows the single circuit as well as the double circuit. You can see in the second figure, the double circuit has a advantage that it ensures the continuity of supply. If one circuit is failed, the second circuit will take the role. In case of there is any breakdown of one circuit, the continuity can be maintained by the other circuit. So these are the different types of towers. Hope you all understood my class today. Thank you everyone for listening. Stay tuned.